Diesel, kerosene, and gas are highly flammable once spark and disaster strikes. Ignorance or hardship cannot derail relevant authorities to secure the area and prevent a potential explosion. It is better to stay alive, be alive, and live well.
This message is from Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
What makes me different from you all Nigerians? It's painful that tribalism continues to divide us, blinding us to the strength we share when we stand as one. We must understand that the true essence of being Nigerian isn't found in your tribe, but in your strength, in your heart. Whether you are Tiv, Kanuri, Egba, Ibibio, Esan, Ijo, Urobo, Igbo, Fulani, Yoruba, or from any of our lift each other up. Let unity reign. Let love lead. Let Nigeria rise. Say no to tribalism.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity, and you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth.
Today is Friday, the 25th day of July 2025. Of course, 0.3 FM. I'm excited because we have the weekend to prepare for. So my dad woke me up with a text, a WhatsApp message this morning, and then he was trying to remember so by 29th. So it took a deep sigh, and I clearly understood where I was going to. You're welcome. My name is O꽌. This is that the country is dealing with presently. So earlier today, there was a post on X, one of our social media platforms, and customs actually, they 5 trucks of rice. I just made a quick calculation, and that's about 14,000. So that means, and they said that and I was like, wait a minute. So what is the duty cost? And I just told myself that, as long as these goods are not expired, if they were smuggled into the country illegally, truthfully, well investigated, and the duties on, rather than for them to, get smuggled into private shops around the show of whatever it is that they always do, that, they've burnt 100 cartons to the IDP camps where people are struggling to feed, where people are struggling to put food on their table. Today on the show, we've always said that there's hardly a way the government can take care of how the government can collaborate with the organized private sector in areas of food security. We've talked about a lot of measures by which the government can, bring down the cost of gone from maybe a social amount to social amount. Maybe a tuber of yam now, you can get a tuber of yam of maybe 5,000. These are the issues we need to look into. I've been privileged to have traveled around this country, and I will tell you for a fact that we have no business whatsoever, struggling with the food security that we're dealing with at the moment. It's a challenge. If we need to feed ourselves, not even talk of exporting food, we're struggling to feed ourselves. We cannot even farm enough, to take care of ourselves. We cannot even, produce enough to feed a nation of about 230 million. In Ogun State, you go to Oyo State, you go to Ekiti State, struggling to, go to the market to buy yam in pieces. Yes, and they told us that there's a place in Ilepo market where they sell yam not in tubers. They'll cut it in pieces, 100 naira or 200, and that's exactly what we do in this one. That's Maxwell, the team lead in Nigeria. Mr. Maxwell, good to have you join us on the show.
Challenges we are facing in the agribusiness and agricultural space generally in the country I think things have.
I know in the course of, you spreading your vide, enough safe space for what has been the biggest investors, Nigerians, distributors. What have you learned from all of
Insecurity has affected us, has prevented many businesses from investing. Smallholder farmers to structured markets that are led by business ownership, empowering them with input and also coordinating the output value chain. Besides insecurity, there are other factors that are affecting this change. Look at the last 5 years alone. If food insecure, it means, as how I say, and that is how it has been as we think it is. It has been expensive. No, this is not partners to work with, coordinate. Nothing will happen by December when harvest comes. We will stand by in order to stabilize that, but it's not going to work.
Envy what you do. So you also talked about government, the cost of transporting or moving your also affecting the cost of these products, because I'm also going to factor it into it. And so when you have bad roads, you have insecurity, you have high cost of diesel. All of these things also come to video, leading to the 2020 investor that was shouting to the president, and it seems he was saying something about Ahmed Tinubu as a private short-term fixes and long-term solutions to our problems in terms of.
We are caught between the rock and a hard place.
That's why I said I don't envy what to do.
This in our economy, they are really, really necessary. Let's take the money intervene and establish 2024. I'm going to say this. Are these policies going to stay there forever? CBN and the Bank of Industry, the banks, what is the amount? What's the cost of lending right now? That is the main primary production side. We take 30, right? Changes in the increase, 60,000. It's more than 600,000. To move from to 600,000, not to talk of Taraba to Abuja. To move fertilizer, for example, from One, in River State, truck, just transportation. So the cost of logistics has gone up. We understand this is connected to the removal of. I ask myself, do I really criticize the government for these policies? No. Big nation is a key player in development. And last year to this year, we've seen companies who are folded because of the import policy being and supplying to their off-takers when the grains are called. Not everybody is holding grains. Not everybody does that. People feel the final processor calls for these grains before you supply that you get paid, right? So you take, and then immediately after 3 weeks in January, it fell down to 600,000. Wow. It went down between January and February to as low as 500 for the rest of the year. And things did not really change. Right now, we are not seeing the business is bad. Yes, we agree. But how long are we going to do this? When are we going to let this space work for itself? Let the businesses, the private sector companies, let the Nigeria put on the forefront of driving for security. And they are still doing the best they can do. But again, for me, to sum this up at the grassroots level, it's not funny. There's poverty at the grassroots level. Food insecurity problems and all the income problem, which I see that there's been a significant effort from the government side right now to step up and face the security challenges we have in recent months to large-scale production of food. Meaning we cannot continue to rely on smallholding. Technology is low and slow. So we need large-scale companies with large-scale farms, hundreds and try to balance these food insecurity issues. Because majority of them, why? So those kind of things. And then this poverty issue is really affecting them. I used to tell you will always see that the number of food producers and any literature you take will still tell you the same thing. So this is like 2 or 3 generations after, right? I asked myself, is it that we are giving back to smallholder farmers, NGOs, all the effort of private, 80% of the palm oil we consume, not even the oil palm plantation. I'm talking about the final product now. 80% of the palm oil we consume are produced by these. In all the value chains we have in it. That's how I say it. So we need to look at all of these issues. It's a public-private partnership where the government leads the private sector we have in a way that we think is, I agree with you. It's a big risk.
Okay, food crisis that we're dealing with right now are hungry. There's no way you want to build the finest infrastructures when the people don't feel secured. In fact, I've always said it, that the government needs to declare state of land to be cultivated for millet, for these. Where are those promises? And my guest today, I talked about policy stability farms. He's also talked about investing in large scale. So away from all of these, bringing in tractors, making tractor, pretty decent intervention programs for.
To answer your question, I would say, to be honest, when you mention, especially in this administration, where we've seen like these things, they need time to incubate. They need time for the test models, test ideas before they can go to scale. So we have private sector enterprises working to build a new drip irrigation, which that is solar powered. It takes time.
Do I have, Mr. Maxwell? What I cannot feed? How much time do I have? So when you talk about time, do we have as a country?
The problem is not we need to nip in the bud as soon as possible. We level of resources, the level of manpower, and the kind of land, or I would say resource challenges in the present administration. And I see the direction the current administration these activities so that we move beyond the incubation stage. Agriculture as a sector in the economy of Nigeria, this environment in the country influences one another. You talk about food insecurity, you affect nutrition insecurity. So as we fix one after the other, I think at the moment.
Okay, and let's go back to one of the solutions you brought up initially. How is the engagement? Agriculture and food security. Do they carry the local farmers along? Do they carry the private sector practitioners implement it? And if they don't carry you guys,
they do carry us along. Well, the Minister of Agriculture, the current Minister of Agriculture, in terms of meetings at state level they had with stakeholders in the agricultural space. The news over this period from January 2024 to around June, there were even meetings with the president with these high-level stakeholders from the banks, in trying to see how to solve this problem. But again, there were issues that this government inherited. Conversations, and I look at where the government is going at the moment. Yes, there's a stopgap measures that the president had also in the agricultural space within the country. We cannot continue like this. We cannot continue with different programs after different programs. There was GES between 2010 and 2015. There was the country. But again, when you look at Nigeria, one thing we fail to understand is as a country, we are very countries like Niger, Chad, Cameroon. They come into our country, across the border. One sharp practices we have seen is things from us when we don't. The agricultural landscape is not mass administration and into the commodities and taking them after the other.
Well, I don't know how I feel about what you just said, that people coming to sell for us at exorbitant prices. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is the season right now. In this plum, Mr. Maxwell, of how many cartons they are pushing out as little as ube plum is being demanded at that high scale. How come our yams don't conveniently is not being aggressive? Do you think some of these policies of the government now? Because when anything happens, if there's flooding, house collapse to come and on the long term. The Emir of Kano.
He was in Benin for an inaugural lecture. Nigeria is a country that import what it has and export what it is. You see that we are still looking for them to consume in Nigeria. Sometimes when we look at export, our eyes being towards Lagos and the ports. But years ago, there was a shutdown of those borders in the north because we wanted to. So when you also talk about why our maize, our beans are not competitive enough for going out to contamination, right? That we cannot continue to rely on smallholder farmers to the national standard. I've been privileged to work with one of the largest food processors in the country, talking about they don't negotiate their quality with you. They don't. We need this raw material at this level. Based on we have 20%, 30% rejection rate due to contamination of agrochemical insecticides. We think the balance again go back to the sector. And actually, it's a micro sample. Like it's a small. It's saying 20%, 30% of grain supply is contaminated. Then what are we eating? Right? What are we eating as a people? So if we really want, in terms of cowpea, in terms of yam being exported, then we have to look at the fight. They go out there. Exactly. That's the only way we can overcome all of this. Otherwise, we keep going in circles, and then we accuse if you have good products, they are certified. We have companies who do the certification. Many countries abroad. You see, I'm in the US. If you take yam from here in restaurants in the US, and it crosses the border, and the restaurant is selling it there, right? So we need to do the right things, and we need lead firms to invest in backward integration, building farms like crops. To be honest, Well, let's just say we need to change our farming practices and our farming.
I want to eat rice. I don't eat beans, so they can manage the price of beans. It's okay, but just make rice available. That's everybody's food. That conversation, it's really you hear their stories, especially some of the challenges they are facing in assessing funds for.
As a program, we use a public-private partnership approach to try to put inclusion as a program. We try to look at inclusion from first. They have guarantee, they can negotiate with you, reference, look at opportunities for women and youth to find employment. How do we make agriculture attractive? How do we use your business model to attract them into this value chain so that they can find employment and build? How do we support businesses, not just to buy-come consumers, whom we call the base of the pyramid consumer? I'm thinking the income will be less than at affordable prices. How do we get them to afford this? So for actors on the table, and we as a program using Institute of Agriculture on the table and have a mission, Nigeria. We invest in improving Nigeria without investing in the locally across the country. Now, how do you do that? To invest in the dairy value chain, starting with the new collection centers, producing 30 liters per day. You see the difference. You need 15 to 1. You need 15 liters per day. You get it. So how do we, supporting some of these dairy the Fulani smallholder farmers model, where we work with these pastoralists, work with them in settled environments, and those who are empowered with building new collection centers, new bulking centers, provided with the cold chain infrastructure complete to supply these products to these companies, and these companies process them into finished products that the country. Several investment has gone into this. Like I told you before, most of these sectors need time. They need time to change. But the level of progress has also, yes, there are changes happening.
Is insignificant.
But the effort still has to be made. And I want to thank the federal government of Nigeria for creating the new Ministry of Life, our planting materials from the seed, the livestock. We need to do this in this area. So using this public-private partnership for business, where we have connected about 166,000 smallholder farmers to this business. When we say connect, we are saying this business is buying the raw material for these businesses to offtake from them. Then we also have worked with businesses who have developed new food products. There's a small pack, pick-your-bird pack, the Tetra pack, they call it. These farm milk music directly from the farm to the factory. Sorghum and millet, maize, plantain, name them, to try to see how we can improve production, create market, reaching the low-income consumers in terms of food. Let me take that again.
Please take it
again. Many farmers who produce the second-grade type. You can ask experts now, unable to buy it back after they have to change the mindset of business, the legacy for us, keep the legacy of the program. So we are transferring knowledge to the Institute of Agribusiness Management based on the mission of inclusive business from the universities, lecturers and professors. They will take this knowledge that we have gathered in the last 12 years and turn them into practices on how do we connect our senior farmers to structured markets. And with that, we've been able to leverage investment from this private partner, creation and co-investment. So we co-create with you what you want to do with your business model. We look at it, screen it for inclusivity, and then we go with you to implement it over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Some have made investment in expanding their factory. For example, working with Okomu Oil in Edo State, Okomu invested almost $60 million in trying to build this. Working with the likes of Nalmako, a grain aggregator in northern Nigeria, they've been able to secure funds to move in the maize into maize flour, maize powder, that they can sell within the food system. So next, in trying to diversify their revenue stream and also create more market for smallholder farmers, they work with you must do this. No. The company tells us what they want to do. Then we
pose programs for them. You just work with them.
We take it from there. And then we believe that when you want to solve long-term problems, which until you find what works, and then you continue to scale. We go the extra mile, like I mentioned earlier, to make sure that our consumers can consume cases. For example, I had a business case, and we took this package of practice and replicated somewhere in Ghana, in northern Ghana, in a company. For example, in terms of cooperative development, we are able to study what is working well in the dairy sector in Kenya, where cooperatives are in the country. Then we looked at, as an organization, we had the base of the Pyramid Innovation Center, who were responsible for the BOP market, International Fertilizer Development Center, IFB technology, as that fertilizer or otherwise, activity and production at farm level. So combining the expertise of these three organizations, we've been able to...
On my page or my paper to discuss with you, and I wish you well. Like I said, I don't even envy what you do. I mean, it's tough running businesses in this country, especially for very much for spending time with us on the show today, Mr. Olitza Maxwell, the Nigerian team lead for TwoScale. Thank you. And I pray that, some of the efforts you are also putting see the results. Thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell Olitza.
Thank you very much, Okwemi, and it was great having been work and to send the message to the right corridors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So please, when you hear where yam is cheap, please just let me know so that I'll do the Thank you very much, and have a beautiful shows where food is now more like a luxury. On Tuesday, Architect Gbadebo's Revival was on the show every day, so people ration food. It's no longer 3 square meal. Nobody's even talking of balanced diet. Just eat the diet you have first. You will talk about the balanced part of it later. Nobody's even talking of, in a country with so much opportunities and potentials. I hope the government will do the right thing. I hope they will be able to fix, some of the insecurity issues that are not making our farmers be able to go to their farms anymore. Bring in some stability. Let us know the direction you want to go of, food security. And last but not the least, more so that, whatever the government is bringing on board, the private sector can also complement it and make sure that Nigerians don't in the week all through the week. And I will touch some of the issues that we've discussed in the course of
I understand the hardship you face. I wish
Based conversation around nationhood and development. We have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service.
Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better...
Into office.
Look at us, man. There is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
Business, opinion makers, business from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM.
Thank you and welcome back. If you're tuning in for the very first time or you're joining politics, policies, governance, leadership, accountability, and everything, we shouldn't be hungry in the midst of plenty. We shouldn't be thirsty in the midst of water, and it's a biggie. The team lead for TwoScale Nigeria is an entrepreneur. He's a farmer, a young farmer. I've had a lot of Ogun State very close to us here. And I've also had, I think I had a guest from Nasarawa State as well, for instance. And unfortunately, the killings in Benue, maybe we don't think it affects us. If a state that is called the food basket of the nation, doing elephant projects that they will not be able to continue or to complete, build airport. I'm not saying airports are not governing. Can afford, even if it's 2 square meal, let's leave the 3 square meal first. Let them, how much do you buy live chicken that they will kill and clean for you immediately? How much is it now? So those things that is your father Tinubu, these are not, they are not luxury. They are basic things that people should be able to eat. Even if I guaranteed a decent meal each time I'm hungry. So the government needs to do a lot more than they're doing right now. I was going through the website of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security yesterday afternoon, and some pretty these programs would have direct impact on the people, the common man, because some of these policies, if it affects or it allows those elites to still continue import the things we don't need, and then we export the things that we need, and that's the fact. I know I've apologized already. I've taken this Friday away from my. So we had a sponsored program for 6 weeks, just to create awareness, to sensitize the people on the need to get involved in the local government election. So what we best start off from Monday. Comrade Steve Aluko was my guest on the show, and what a session that was. our places and how beautiful they look on paper. On Tuesday, us talked about the coalition, talked about the AP of time, dissecting the new national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, the outgoing minister of humanitarian crisis within the PDP. On Tuesday, Chief Dele Momodu had resigned his membership of the party. The former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, had also resigned his membership, followed. Or perhaps we couldn't pick your calls or we couldn't read your messages in the course of the week. Call us 0913-600.
Honestly, but we forgive you this week. Yes, you don't try without you. We are one of patience.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
How are you?
Sorry. Me to use 90 minutes to read your biography or to sing your praise, sing your praise on this show. If you bring money, I will do it too.
Don't worry.
So next week, if somebody brings,
but what belongs to Caesar, give it to Caesar. Okay, no, Allah.
Let's go. Let's
just
go.
let it be. That is our Friday.
Let's go on.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, look. Forget about whether one support one candidate or not. Let's say this will have their way. So, Stamina, either you support them or you don't support them, they must have their way, okay? But it's like politicians always have the take from morning to night, all the meeting. They have to maneuver from one place to the other. But you and I keeping supporting them, our life are not better. Look at the councillor. Your councillor is a barber. He became a barber. After becoming a councillor, he worked in a jeep. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. We'll have conversation.
Hello.
You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Okoyemi?
Your name and where you calling?
You see, Mr. Okoyemi, I want to be brief in this. And these three institutions we have, they are not helping matters. You see the judiciary, you see the INEC, you see these people. If to announce WHSO's result, dropped the microphone, and somebody else came up to the podium and announced that result. Do you get me, okay?
Yes.
Now, this everything, after everything, all the magomago they did, that woman went on. Immediately she announced that result, she walked away from that place. You know that the people we are fighting for and the generations unborn are to the people to suffer all these things.
Sure.
This INEC, the people holding these positions should understand that these are generations have to suffer and they should do the right thing.
Thank you.
But when that happens here before the election, the result to beg and plead with any person that will man that.
600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome. Okay, is your radio off now?
Yeah, I like the front guy.
Okay.
My contribution, the reason why the appointment of the national new chairman of APC is why APC have 5 governors that are well respected as a leader structure within the 5 states. They have a structure on ground. To come with a settlement. Christians don't want to because he's a Muslim that they will not vote for APC, and that is why the man lose the election. Not that the man in power is more critical than the man they lose the election. Both of them.
Yeah, it was a party
because he bringing out the.
Hello. I'd appreciate if you can still try to call back, Prince Wires.
Thank you very much for doing that.
I'm struggling to hear you. Can you change your location?
I want to change my place and I want to change it now. To just do something for Nigeria. We can feed ourselves with this country. Look at what the initiative for food everywhere, cheaper food everywhere. Nigeria won't be crying, we won't be shouting, we won't be calling Mr. President. You know, majority of land belong to the governors. They will work. Me. Are you there?
I'm with you, Prince Wise.
So I want to appeal. When I'm shouting mechanized farmer, you know I'm a thinking farmer. Nobody can tell me one farmer did a cheaper fertilizer.
Thank you.
Grow over what you grow. I'm telling you, Nigeria, we can feed ourselves.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
Kazawa can go to China. You know,
live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Is the Friday edition of the show. Of course, it's the Situation Room. Today is the 25th day of July. Okay, Good evening to you. I don't know what country you are calling from, but good evening.
Good evening. Sorry.
You're welcome.
I made you are calling for Sango.
You
know very well how this country be. And we know the problem. And the problem is selecting bad governors. I mean, bad leaders that lead us. And we have that opportunity 2027. I don't see the reason why people who have never conducted the 2027 election speak with one voice. Because our suffering don't do. All those people that are commenting to this bad government, are they not suffering? So let masses of Nigeria demand for electoral reforms. No more, no less. If that thing does not come, no election. Let us insist on that and let us reform.
Election. I understand where you're coming from. We need reforms, and then we need reforms that are practical. Also, we also need reforms of our minds as people, as voters. Hello. For good. This your kingdom. You're always calling. Who is the Igwe in that kingdom?
in this country. Do you know that Holland is most of the European countries? Holland, but United States and Nasarawa is bigger than Holland. When I was traveling abroad, I said that if I make this kind of money, I'll come back. And immediately I made that money, I came back. What am I trying to say? I love this country. I don't tired of routine. I don't tired. Sometimes I cry for this nation. I'm telling you.
You should also help yourself so that when you go into election, you're going to make your political decisions and choices are not based on capability to get the job done. Barrister Peter Oko, good to have you join us on the show.
My big brother, my contribution to today's discussion is maybe of Nɪḷᴇ, they call them. They are pretending not to be aware that there is rule of law in Nigeria. Yes, don't realize that there is rule of law, that you cannot carry your cow and enter somebody. We are not living in the jungle. So they have to be national. Get them that there is rule of law, can move to anywhere, pick up my crops and tell the cows and herdsmen that they will keep killing people in Plateau State. It's not acceptable.
Thank you.
And I'm actually warning this.
Thank you. Let's try and be as brief as we can. I'm talking about Plateau State. Slaughtered in Riyom local government of Plateau State. And that coincidentally is the local government of the sitting deputy governor of the state. One of the senators from Plateau State was being held in the government house chapel, and the president of the Nigerian Senate was there, maybe to represent 7 people that were slaughtered last week Monday in Riyom local government. It's a crazy space, but let me have your thoughts. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
you're welcome.
You have massive people, 27 of them that were buried. And they are 10 those the ones that were buried, 27 of them.
No, they're privileged deaths.
You see, if you rate me, somebody I believe, but is any intervention in anybody? Are they not part of this suffering? Somebody be this or that of the it's quite unfortunate. Even if you are supporting a government, maybe you have lose your bilateral compass at the level of effectiveness in this country. You don't know. There was they said that 40,000 people are using it. It's quite unfortunate. But I believe nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever in this world.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you. Let's quickly pick some calls. We also have messages on Facebook. This one says, good afternoon. I have to let them realize with little business and handwork can cure hunger. Okay. Thank you. This is Joshua, and he says the economy is organically by go. Just scrolling on Facebook with my 500 MB got exhausted within 30 minutes. Everywhere you turn to is overbearing. Be it electricity, could do 3 years ago. Thank you, Joshua. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Mr. Lakonle, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's always very funny where for a bad workman to blame her tools for not making him win or get contract. But you forget that it is what you do prior to that makes you win the election. INEC makes people snatch box. INEC is not the one that destroys it. INEC just collects. So if you lose the election, go back and polling unit and vote. all this grammar they are all speaking, blaming INEC. INEC is not your problem.
I also hope you have the same as well. Okay. Thank you, Tunde 7. Thank you. That's Tunde from Magboro. This one says, good evening. My name is Festus from Ikorodu. Your guest today spoke well, but a lot of people need to know that you can also be a things, plan the things you can use to feed your family. This government don't care about you. Okay. Thank you very much on Facebook. Zeno Agbe guests. Your good guest said they are spending on agriculture. They will have seen positive changes. All of them are audio intervention. And he said that the government needs time before we start feeling Ghana, Argentina, and other countries in similar position as we are. Our own government is just lies on of our country, Nigeria, from the president to the councillors are not interested in agriculture but oil, and that provide money for them on a monthly basis to share. Not only do we have a government that knows that agriculture is life wire of any nation like Nigeria, but large population with fertile land, things will remain as they are. As for time, let me squeeze in this call. Last one for the week. Your name and where you calling from?
See, I need to tell you the fact. If you want to know what more than 10,000, and this is what is happening. Somebody said it's not electoral. It's easy for us to know those who will win and those who will lose. It is easy for us to know those who will vote for and the election they declare. And that is the problem. We don't have good electoral system, and that is the problem we are facing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we can't pick more calls. We're pressed for time from Mainland FM Global News at 5:30. And I'll also come back to take you through the world of sport on Sports Cruise. The Super Falcons would, attempt to win their championship for women. The world champion Spain versus the defending champion of the Europe tournament, England. Newcastle and Liverpool, and of course, Arsenal officially signs Victor Gyökeres and hands him over the legendary number 14 jersey. You know who wears that jersey, right? Thierry Henry. We'll talk about all of that by 6 p.m. on your Spuda Mainland 98.3 FM. Next up is Global News. My name is OꞰ_Lᴜ, and the government needs to do the needful. Bye for now.